YouTube. I'm trying out a slightly different setup today, so if you have any opinions, let me know what you think. It's not perfectly composed, I realize, but I've been recording over in the window, and while the light is great, it's actually not that great because it seems to sort of go on and off, and the sun, the clouds, they do things. So we're going to try over here and see if that improves things at all. Anyway, what am I here to talk about? So I wanted to do a little video on, particularly on the majors, although I think this could apply to other cards, but on how I'm thinking about receiving cards when pulling for myself lately, and how that has sort of shifted a little bit recently. So the framework I'm using for this is the idea that tarot is as an invitation rather than a declaration. And what I mean by that is that when you pull a card, I think sometimes it can be a little like jarring or confusing, particularly with the majors. I've noticed when you pull a card and you don't really feel that you're in that energy. So I'm going to use throughout this video the example of the Hanged Man because I've been getting that a lot. And so I'll get this card and I'll have one of two reactions. Like, one is I'll think, okay, this is saying like this is the energy I'm in right now, but I don't feel like I'm in that energy, and I don't feel like it's time for that energy. And then I'm kind of like, well, I don't want to second guess the tarot. The tarot is telling me to pause, to like sit in my discomfort, all that hanged energy stuff. Then I'm not, who am I to say otherwise, right? But I also think that sometimes when you pull a card, particularly when it doesn't necessarily make sense, it might mean that you're in the energy. It might mean that the energy is coming. It might mean that you should behave as you would, like behave with the medicine of the card, essentially. So if you get the Hanged, stop, don't act, sit in discomfort even when you really want to act. And that often is the message, but I think there's also an interesting element that I've been exploring actually through the Tarot for Self-Care class that Sarah M. Chappell is doing, which I would recommend if you're interested in this kind of thing, and thinking of like different ways to think of the cards. One thing I like is that she will often give for a card kind of questions that you could ask yourself when it comes up, and like things you might want to think through. And I think they make the majors less dire or less like, oh my god, I have to be in this energy, because sometimes with the majors being bigger energies in our lives, sometimes it can be particularly confusing when a major comes up that we can't relate to something, because it's like, well, if this is here, this is coming, like I should feel it, it should be really obvious. But I don't think that's always true, and I like the idea of asking yourself questions. So for example, like if the Hanged comes up, asking questions like, how, maybe I'm getting this card a lot because I need to really be thinking about like how I experience discomfort, or how I sit in discomfort, or am I bad at that, or like what does like why do I want to act sometimes when I should be still. And asking those questions, like the card might keep coming up because I haven't spent enough time with those questions, like I haven't done enough preparation or enough understanding myself around those questions, and so the cards are saying, hey, like think about this, right? And not necessarily saying the entirety of your life around you is Hangman energy, or you need to pause on everything. They might be, and of course it always depends on the spread and the context, the position, the question, but I really like this subtle reframe of, if you pull the Tower, like thinking about what are some structures and systems in your life that could use a good Tower moment right now, even if you don't. Because I think Tower is one where you can pull it, and if you can either be terrified because you think it's coming, or you can be like, I don't understand, why am I getting Towers? It's not a Tower time right now. And so I'm curious, like, what others think, how you interpret, if a card, especially if a major card comes up that is not an energy that you're feeling right now in your life, or that you can see coming, or that seems relevant, like, how do you engage with the card, And if it keeps coming up, how do you, what kind of message do you take that for? Yeah, so if you have a thought on that, leave a comment below. If you enjoy these kind of meandering thoughts about tarot, don't forget to like and subscribe. There's plenty more where that came from, and have a great rest of your day.